Occasionally we get data where we have date fields that are supposed to be true dates, but they're not acting like true dates for various reasons. I'm going to walk you through 3 different scenarios that you might encounter and how to fix them. The first one is described here, where perhaps somehow you imported the data and it came in as a string. You can see in here that it's being stored flush left, which indicates that it's a string, and if you were to do a format cells on this, it will probably come up as general. You might find that it's not sorting properly, or that you can't use some other date functions on it. So in this case, we can use the DateValue function to convert it to a date value. Now what's going to happen is it's going to give you a number. And at first you're going to be like, what? Something went wrong. But no. So what happens is Microsoft chose to store dates as a number, and it's the equivalent of the number of days since a certain date in the past. I think it's like 1900 or something like that. And so Excel, this is what Excel wants. It stores it as that number. And to get an actual date visible to you, you just need to choose Format Cells. I did right mouse click Format Cells and change it to date and set whatever format you want the date to appear in and say OK. And now we have dates. So another scenario is here, where the year, month, and day are in separate columns. So in this situation, there's a function called date, just plain old date, where you feed it the year, month, and day in that order, and it will put it together for you. But it has to be in year, month, day, which of course is opposite to what Americans think anyway, so that's a little tough one to remember. But if we say H2, comma, and it gives you a little hint here. See, it says year, month, day, so that helps. J2, we have a year, a date. Notice this is flush right. It's being treated as a true date. So is this other one we just made over here, which is different from that text one that we saw here. So it's something to keep an eye on. All right, so here's another scenario. This used to happen a lot more often when agencies sent us data from mainframe computers, but maybe you still deal with an agency with mainframes. The date is set up as a four-digit year, 2-digit month, 2-digit day, all strung together. And so when you import this from a text file, you'd want to bring it in as a string, not as a number. And then you can use this function on here. This is a combination of the date function that we just looked at, along with some string functions. And you should see my tutorials on string functions if you haven't already, that tell it where the year, month, and day are in that string. So what this is saying is that the year can be found in cell A6 in the left, starting on the left and going 4 digits. And then the month starts at the 5th byte and goes for 2 bytes. And the day starts at the 7th byte and goes for 2 bytes. And notice that there's commas in there to separate each of the arguments on the date function. But then this will convert that to a date as well. And keep in mind that if, for example, your answer comes out as a number, then you just need to, it might come out like that. It's just a formatting thing that you need to take care of.